Welcome back. Police on the Capitol investigating a potentially serious breach in our security. A computer hack attack against members of the House Intelligence and Foreign Affairs Committees, reportedly by three brothers who work there. They were hired to manage information technology in their offices. Retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis joins us now. And Colonel, it is good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Maria.
What do you make of this story? These are three brothers. They're being investigated for accessing lawmakers' computer networks without their knowledge, as well as stealing equipment from Congress. But the point that I find just stunning is the fact that they weren't arrested yet, because there is some speculation that there is more coming, that perhaps there is even a tie to terrorism. How can this happen?
Yeah, if there's espionage or terrorism suspected, they should have been arrested. The fact that they were brought to the attention of the authorities and it's in the newspapers, that's disturbing. Folks like this should have a clearance, first of all. They're working for foreign affairs and for intel committees. They should have a relatively high classification. What is really suspicious here to me, Maria, is that what they're being paid. A 22-year-old getting $160,000 here in Washington. Now, I've hired a whole bunch of 20-something-year-olds with multiple degrees. We don't pay anywhere close to that, and yet, all three of these brothers are making or six figures. So that's suspicious. Now, also, they work for a host of congresspersons, and in fact, it would appear as if those people aren't being supervised, which gives them access to very sensitive information. It talks about networks. The networks that I have access to at the Pentagon, we have special cards, special numbers, and special spaces.
Yeah.
So you have to violate all three of those in order to get what apparently these men are alleged to have done.
Well,
that is very serious.
It's absolutely extraordinary. And let me just point out their names. The brothers are Abid, Imran, and Jamal Awan. They're 20, 21, 22. They were all making either $160,000 or $165,000. That's 3 times what the average IT staffer makes in a congressional committee. And they were reviewing and they had access to data from foreign affairs, including Benghazi. Lots of foreign affairs between the U.S. and its friends across the world or enemies, as well as intelligence data. How does this happen?
Well, obviously the vetting process on Capitol Hill for IT people is broken. And that should send alarm bells across this entire city. DIA, CIA ought to be very upset because their people trot up to Capitol Hill. They deliver testimony and very sensitive information that jeopardizes this country if it's compromised. And it would appear that if these three can easily hack into members' very sensitive information networks, then we have a very serious problem. So I would call on the leadership there on Capitol Hill to immediately investigate this. And it's not just these three likely. There must be a systemic issue if 3 young people can get those salaries, not have the type of supervision, get access to members' very sensitive files. We have a serious issue.
Yeah, well, the investigation is ongoing, so of course we will be watching. Good to